Gott sei Dank haben wir rechte Hetzer und viele Missinformation in Deutschland. Die haben es angeblich abgewendet, dass Frau Brosius-Gersdorf und ihre andere Linksaktivistin nicht zum Verfassungsrechtler genannt werden. So, das ist aber gut. Wir sind durch die Auge des Nadels gekrochen in Deutschland letzte Woche. That is correct. So, last week, basically all my videos were for Germany were about the leftist activist judges that wanted to get into the judgeship at the highest court in the country, and it didn't happen. Now, why did it not happen? Well, at first, it seemed like that the CDU voted against them, which you would expect them to do because they're supposedly the conservative party of the country. They're also supposedly Christians. And these leftist activist women that wanted to get on the court are not Christians. They do not espouse the values and the policies or principles that a conservative party would stand for. And so it would be, in any normal society, it would be natural that the CDU, the Christian Democrats, that won the election, by the way, would vote against these SPD, loser of the election, party candidates. But it didn't come to a vote, as far as I understand. There was too much, they wouldn't get the votes, so they decided not to vote then. I don't know how that's helpful. The only thing that means is they are still going to keep these ladies on the shelf, and in the meantime, the CDU leadership is going to find ways to cobble together a majority somehow or another. They're going to try to force their members to vote in favor of this lady. Now, I want to caveat this real quick by saying I'm not 1,000% sure that the vote didn't happen, but that's the way I read it. I read it that the vote was canceled, right? When I asked Grok about it, Grok also said the vote was just canceled. So they didn't get not nominated. There wouldn't have been the right amount of votes to get these people in, and so they shelved the vote until further notice. So that is not really what, that's not really getting rid of these candidates. They're still there. And the vote could come up any day again to get them in, I think, which is weird. You know what I'm saying? Either way, Germany got very lucky. No thanks to the CDU leadership who was ready to vote for this maniac, or both of them. One of them is a climate ideologue that basically, wanted to use the court in order to enforce unpopular climate policies to be able to reach the 2045 goal of being net zero. That was going to be a nightmare. So we don't have her. We don't have Brosius-Gersdorf, which feels like the life begins at birth, and legally it definitely begins at birth, and so therefore you can have an abortion up until basically the day before you give birth if you want, and that didn't align with Christian values whatsoever. But the CDU still claims to be Christians. Now, luckily, there's a lot of people within the CDU party, still enough left over, that really do, up till now, seem to be sticking to their guns here and sticking to their values. The leadership of the CDU is not that, right? Friedrich Merz just uses Christianity in order to assimilate power, right? Accumulate power, my fault. So that's all Christianity means to him. For him, Christianity is like, well, most of the people in the country are Christian. It comes from the country is basically built on Christian foundations and Christian values. And so hiding behind the name of Christianity and pretending I'm a Christian is probably a good way to get votes. And he's right. He's right. Because apparently the Christians that voted for him are too dumb to see that he's not a Christian, right? Because he was ready to pull the trigger on these leftist lunatics in order to remain in power. He knows that if he didn't vote for them, if he didn't let the left have their way, like always, they were going to throw a big fucking tantrum. They might let the coalition break because of it. And then Friedrich Merz is gone. He's gone. Just like that. It'd be adios, Friedrich Merz. So he didn't want that. So he wants to hang on to power. And so he wanted to get these judges in. It looks like because of all the dissent within the party against these candidates, that is why they just shelved the vote. Now, I have no knowledge about how long they're allowed to shelve this vote for. Do they even have to put more judges in? Is it a thing that they're bound to some sort of time schedule on? I don't know. The rules generally don't really matter for politicians anyway. They make all kinds of rules and treaties and agreements and coalition contracts, and all that shit doesn't mean jack shit. So even if there is a statute of limitations on this somehow, if they want to ignore it, they're going to, because the rules only count for us peons, also in Germany, right? In all Western so-called democracies, the rules only seem to count for the plebs, and that's us, right? Me, the truck driver who works 15-hour days and pays a shitload of taxes so that illegal immigrants can get free money, right? That's the way it works. We have to follow all the fucking stupid rules they tell us that we have to follow, but they make up rules that they just don't have to follow in any instance. So whatever the rule may be, I don't expect these two judges to go away, or the two would-be judges to go away, because the CDU, which is not a conservative party, it is a leftist captured party. It is a party held hostage by the left, and therefore it does the bidding of the left. So you cannot trust them. They will, if it's going to appease the left, they will try to find a way to get these judges in the future, if it is so that they were not voted out or voted down, but just the vote was shelved. So apparently, the reason why this vote was shelved, according to the left, and that's what's going around the whole news, right? Apparently, it's because of right-wing haters, right? Right-wing misinformation spreading haters that these judges didn't get put into office, right? That these ladies, these left-wing lunatics, didn't get put into a judgeship in the highest court in the country. It's because of misinformation and right-wing talking points and right-wing news sources and right-wing conspiracy theorists and haters. Listen, people, let's go over this again real quick. When you see the person say the thing, it's not misinformation, right? We've seen hundreds of clips of Frau Brosius-Gersdorf yapping her big fucking mouth on Marcus Lanz, on fucking press conferences, to the media, in podcasts, about her vision for the court. And her vision for the court is she wants to instrumentalize the court in order to do things that are unpopular and politically unviable. So, in other words, if the politicians can't get it through, she's just going to mandate it because she's got the power of the court. It would be like a Supreme Court justice saying, once I get in, I'm going to go utterly rogue and just slam through all the things that I believe in personally. Yeah, well, she said it her fucking self. That's not right-wing hate or misinformation. That's true information coming from the source of the information, right? Saying it on live television to millions of people. She fucked her own credibility, okay? Because she's a lunatic. And everybody can see what a lunatic she is. And also her colleague, the other one, the climate activist that wants to become a judge. She is too a lunatic. They expose themselves. See, and the left have this weird way of saying, if the right exposes our lunacy, they are spreading misinformation and hate speech all over the planet. And that's why we look so bad. We look so bad because the right basically repeats the things we said publicly, right? Or they play our video clips of us saying that thing publicly. And so therefore they're haters, right? Therefore they're haters. Okay? It's like with the trans thing. Pointing out that a giant 6-foot-tall dude with a dick is in the girls' locker room and winning swimming competitions in America over and over again, just clobbering these girls that have worked their ass off. Pointing that out as unfair, that's right-wing hatred against trans people. And it's misinformation because women and men are not different at all. These people are crazy, right? So now it's the right fucking wing conspiracy, misinformation, hatred crowd that basically made sure that Brosius-Gersdorf didn't get elected to a judge. Look, then thank you. Thank you for misinformation and right-wing hate speech I love it. I love it. It saved the day. Awesome. Just like climate change is saving my summer. I fucking love it. Right? I fucking love it. It's awesome. I've been in Germany for 10 years. It's seldom that we have a summer with as many nice hot days like summer's supposed to be as we had this year. So, hey, if that's climate change, bam, let's go climate change. And let's go right-wing hatred and misinformation, because apparently they're getting the results we want, right? Climate change is getting the results I want. I like it to be hotter and warmer and not so rainy. Fucking awesome. It's doing its thing. Thank you. Right? And we didn't get saddled with two complete maniacs in the highest court in the country thanks to right-wing hatred and misinformation. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. We all know that's not the case. We all know that they actually expose themselves. That's what the left does. The left is so crazy that they will say the thing that you're not supposed to say and then go, well, you're pointing out that I said that thing, and so you are making it so that I'm not popular. That's the craziest shit I've ever heard. So, hey, Germany, we really got lucky, right? On all seriousness. If these two ladies ever get in a position of that kind of power, I think then it would be time to consider leaving Germany if you've got any money invested here, if you own anything, or if you are a popular, big commentator on the right, or if you're in the AfD party somehow, if you're a member of the AfD party, I think then it would be really time to consider bailing on this country. So that's how close we got. Luckily, by the grace of misinformation and right-wing hatred, we escaped for now these two judges. But again, I have the feeling that this is not over because of the way that I read the information, and the way I understand it is that this vote has only been shelved, not that they were not voted for. That means it's coming back, right? That means it's coming back. So they're going to try to brainwash, manipulate, push, shove, nudge, buy off, bribe. They're going to do everything they do, all their political trickery, all their probably corrupt, illegal political trickery. They're going to use it all to try to get these women into their seats as judges in the highest court in the country. I don't think it's dead. I think we're coming back to it at some point. But now the politicians get to go on a well-deserved vacation. So there you go. At least we have, 2 months or 3 months of silence from the Bundestag. That's fucking fantastic. On its own, I can live without them for a little while. Better they do nothing than do anything. That's basically where I'm at. All right, guys. Count your lucky stars that we don't have socialist, communist maniacs in the highest court in the country, and vote AfD next time you get the chance to vote on anything. Anything. Put AfD people in every position you can. That's the way out. It's the only way out other than violence. And nobody wants to go down that road. So that's my recommendation in all my videos, people. Now, guys, before I close down, I want to explain short, how you can help rescue children from sex trafficking, right? I've got a buddy. He lives in Texas, right? At least we think he lives in Texas. He is in contact with teams of basically very qualified people. Like, if you've ever seen the movie Sound of Freedom, Tim Ballard, Sound of Freedom, he's basically in contact and raises money for these groups of, I guess you could say they're kind of vigilantes, except they don't carry out any law. They just go and investigate, gather information on where these children are being held. They report it to law enforcement goes in. But that shit costs money, and law enforcement is not doing enough to stop this. And so these groups of men who know what they're doing go and find these creeps and pedos that are holding these children, and they get kids saved, but they need money, and my buddy K-Mag raises money for them to cover their expenses and cover their equipment costs. So if you want to help on this endeavor, because it really is not getting enough attention and is not getting enough help, in the description below I will put the link to his Give, Set, and Go. You can read all about the project there, and you can help him save children from child sex trafficking. That's a pretty noble cause. I think everybody should probably get on board. So there you go. That's a way to help kids and do something for your fellow man. That is all I've got today. We will see you guys tomorrow on the next Insanity Report for Germany. Peace.